Welcome back to the Barebow Project. This is the audio version of the Coach series. There's so much good information I didn't want everyone to miss out. Some exclusive people, a part of Team Barebow Project, get to attend these live, talk to the guest, and really get into the weeds of the topic. So consider checking that out. Here you go. Reminder, June 22nd, John Demmer Field Archery for the Coach series. Check it out. About the mindset, that championship, that gold medal, that Olympic mindset that gets you across the finish line or on the podium. We were just talking about that, and so Jay, these guys know who you are, but you're just going to give them a brief rundown of where you're shooting. Obviously, we know your background as an archer, but what you're doing and where you're from, your club, stuff like that.
I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been out here since '93. Um, the Mormons haven't kicked me out yet. I thought they might, but they haven't, so that's good.
My buddy John Dillinger's out there.
Yeah, and so coaching. I retired last March from my real job, and then I've been coaching some and flinging a few arrows here and there, just so I can remember how to tell people how to do it.
How to do this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can forget when you don't shoot very much. So,
Yeah.
so I've
Yeah.
I've started shooting a little more these days, trying to help some folks out, and yeah,
What's
just
the name
digging
of your
life.
club
And
that you're shooting at?
Datus,
Yeah.
Datus,
Uh,
dedicated archer, true Utah sportsman.
oh,
Was founded back
interesting.
in the '60s, I think. So that was a cool name back then, I guess.
I guess.
Um, so yeah, it's been around for a hot minute. So we've got an indoor range of 12 bales wide, 20 yards. And then we've got two bales outside that go out to 70 yards in the summertime. And it's cool because it's $250 a year and you get 24/7 access to the building. So
Oh, nice.
it's about the best deal I've seen in archery. 2 in the morning, if you want to go shoot bows and arrows, you can go do it.
Nice. Field courses,
Yeah.
any 3D,
Now,
any of that stuff?
so we have two main field courses here in Salt Lake. One is called Timpanogos, which is up by Mount Timpanogos, and then we have Wasatch Beehive Bowman, which is up Parley's Canyon, and they're the
Okay.
two big outdoor clubs.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
Francis, just so that, and Joe, if you want to, I don't know what your camera's off and mic's off, so I don't know if you're available or not, but Francis, just give Jay a rundown where you're at before we get into it.
Yeah. Um, I've been a compound shooter for about 12 years, and this year decided to take up a recurve barebow. Um, I guess compound was too easy.
Well, there
Um,
you go.
so yeah, I started that in January, and it's been a struggle because my biggest struggle has been with the release because I've been hanging on to a handheld release all my career and getting these fingers to let go. My brain doesn't like that part. So yeah. In the winter, I don't get to, like you were saying, your club has 24-hour access. That would be awesome. Like our club, I get to shoot 3 hours a week maximum in the winter.
Oh,
In the summer,
that's
I've got
brutal.
50 meters in my backyard, which is great. But summer here is short. Like it's 35 degrees here today.
Oh, wow. We were
So
just talking about that
it's
too.
not summer yet.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's 47 here.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
70 here.
but yeah, I was really looking forward to this talk because one of my podcasts that I've been back to listen to repeatedly the most is when you were on the Peak Archery podcast
What,
with
me,
Frank and Larry Wise and I actually you recommended on that podcast the book Golf is Not a Game of Perfect,
Yes.
which I really enjoyed when I was shooting compound, but now that I'm barebow, it's like even more relevant.
Correct.
Compound, especially indoors, it kind of is a game of perfect once you get to a certain point, right? If you
Yeah,
miss it, right, you
yeah,
get
the
to that
scores
point.
are the what I think where most people miss the boat with any archery is it's not a game of aiming, it's a game of execution. And I have
Yeah,
this argument with compounders all the time, and you can and Tim Gillingham's local here, and I argue with him about it all the time, and that's fine. In his mind, it's an aiming game, that's fine, and he wins a lot, great. But it's truly an execution game. the aiming will take care of itself most of the time. It's
Yeah,
all
and
about execution.
that's something I really applied even in compound. But the whole part about being able to accept a bad shot and just keep going and not let it influence your next shot,
Correct.
that is really, really tough when your arrows are going all over the place like they are since I've taken up a barebow.
Well, so and just if it's okay, Frank, I'd love to just chat about that part just a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. There's
So,
no, listen, there's no outline to this. Whatever
okay,
happens,
cool.
happens, but
So
you're good.
that's a great thing you just brought up because do you golf? If you golf or know anything about golf, pro golfers are some of the best in the world at not letting what their shot is doing influence what they do. And one of the prime examples is a pro golfer who hits what they call a draw, which is for a right-handed golfer, a ball that goes from the right to the left. It curves right to left. That's what most pros hit. And they hit that 99% of the time. And if a pro's on the range warming up for a tournament and suddenly the ball starts going left to right, hitting a fade, which is an abomination to a guy that hits a draw. Like it is just so wrong that you lose your mind. They don't try to change it. Their philosophy is, well, that's what my body wants to do today, and I'm just going to do it. So now I'm just going to aim down the left, and I'm going to swing the club like what feels right to me today, which obviously isn't, but that's what's working, and that's what the ball's doing. And I'm just going to aim down the left and let the ball do it until either I finish the round, and I'm probably not going to shoot my best, but I'm not going to shoot myself out of the tournament, or the draw comes back, and at which point I'll start aiming down the right and I'll go for it. An archer will shoot one bad arrow in warm up and completely dismantle their form right before the tournament. Dude, it was one arrow. Or, hey, I used to argue with my coach all the time that my release felt like it was this every time in a tournament. Release was doing this. And he'd stand, and this was before video cameras on your phone and all that crap. And he'd be like, dude, it's not doing that. Just, you're fine. I'm like, no, but it's coming out like this. He goes, are they going in the middle? I'm like, yeah. He goes, then let it do this. So I'd literally stand there shooting, feeling like I was doing this. And of course, they're going in the middle. Then later, he got a video camera and videotaped me at a tournament, and it wasn't. It was doing this. I was like, wow, when did you take those pictures? He goes, about 10 minutes ago, dumbass. You're fine. Just shoot your arrows. So your body feels things, especially in a tournament, because of the adrenaline and the cortisol and the moment, and everything gets, faster and more. You feel everything more, and all of a sudden your sight looks like it's moving 10 times more than it ever did. None of that's true. That's just how you're interpreting it. And so we try to change what we're doing to fix that. And you don't just go with it. If that's what it feels like, do it. They're still going in. You're fine, especially with barebow and with the recurve like I shoot. Like you're not going to stand there and shoot perfect. Stop worrying about it. You're going to have a bad arrow. And the way I try to explain to people why you can't just take your form apart every time is if you're a kid and you're standing there and there's a stop sign and you pick up a rock and you throw it at the stop sign and you miss it. You just pick up a second rock and you throw it at the stop sign and you miss it. You pick up a third rock and you throw it at the stop sign and you hit it. You pick up a fourth rock and you hit it. You pick up a fifth rock and you hit it. Now, none of those rocks that you pick up and go, okay, this rock is 7.2 ounces and it's a hexagon-ish, and I'm 22.6 feet from the stop sign and it's at an altitude of 8 feet. So I need to take my arm back 32.6 degrees and apply 1 Newton of energy at 14 miles per hour. You don't do any of that. You look at the stop sign, you throw the damn rock. And with recurves, that's what we do, man. We're throwing rocks at stop signs.
Yeah.
Look at the stop sign, throw the rock. I missed it. Well, do it again. Well, do it again. Oh, I hit it. Oh, I hit it again. Oh, crap, I hit it again. And then you go, how did I do that? Man, don't think that. Just hit it again. Don't worry about how you did it. Just keep doing it.
Larry Wise said to me one time, learn to hit the middle and then do it again. That's all. It's really process. It really is it's that simple.
Yeah. Lather, rinse, repeat. But that's where the mind is your worst enemy / best friend if you know how to wrangle the thing. And most of us don't. So that was, sorry about the tangent there. But
oh no, it's fine. It's fine. That's what's nice about these. These aren't really podcasts, as they're more, like I said, they're like a coaching class maybe, or whatever you want to call it, where people get to interact with people like you, or where they get to ask the questions that like you don't normally get to. Like if one of these guys sees you at Vegas, you know, they're not going to want to have a full on conversation with you right there, even though I'm sure that happens more than not. But like it's awkward, and like this is organized, and plus you get to you get to dive into your experience unfiltered and apply it to the questions and the things that come up with barebow archers. And
Sure.
that's why this is probably one of like this once a month coach series thing is one of my favorite things that I've ever done, because they're not only are they unscripted, but they're like you're getting to into the weeds of what the people are struggling with, or what their thing is, or what they need help with, instead of just randomly talking about a topic and then that's all they get of it and then everybody goes home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, I like being able to unravel those situations and then talk through like, oh, well, what are the options? What do we do? How do we handle this? How do we approach it? So, Chris, how you doing, buddy? You're muted.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for thanks for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. You came in a little late.
Oh,
That's okay. No, you're good. Just let Jay know, like, where are you at? What's your club? Stuff like that.
oh, right on. Well, I'm in Bakersfield, so there's no club. There's not many people who well there are a bunch of people that shoot here, but it's not really like there's like a club that everybody shoots at. There's no league,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. And there's like, I keep trying to get people to do like a 300 round with me like once or twice a month, and they just go, oh yeah, sounds like a good idea, but they won't do it.
Mm.
So I just shoot in my backyard, and then I have to go down to Pasadena to do 300 rounds if I want to even shoot with other people, and that's 2 hour drive.
Mm.
I go down to Chula Vista just to shoot at the Easton Center, just because it's like Mecca
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So and it's practicing where the pros go and where the USAT team goes, and getting to rub shoulders with those guys, and
Absolutely.
kind
My
of
favorite place to ever do a seminar was there.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so I've been shooting for about 2 years now, exactly about 2 years. I'm competing for about a year and a half, and my biggest issue is misses, and it's like right at the last second, right when I'm about to shoot, it collapses, and and my biggest fear, like going into a tournament, used to be don't hit the target of the guy next to me. Like that was the only thing going through my head, because the first time I went to a tournament, I just lost my process completely. I was just flinging arrows. As soon as my bow got up in front of the target, I just let go of the arrow, and then I go sit down as fast as I could, because I was so scared to shoot in front of anybody. And so that's gone away. But it still happens once in a while where like I'll have it'll be like 10-9 miss, or something stupid like that. It'd be like two really good arrows and then a bad arrow, and then that'll throw me off. Sometimes it throws me off, sometimes it doesn't. But lately it's been a lot better lately. So, but that's
Good.
my biggest issue.
Okay. All right. Good
You'll
deal.
understand, Christopher, you're the only archer to ever miss their target ever in the history of the sport. So
Yeah.
I personally have never done that. Yeah, we all do it, brother. I mean, it's
I know.
just, if you talk to an archer that says they've never missed, they're one of two things: not an archer or a liar. That's the only two options you have. We have all stuck them in the weeds, in the
Oh,
wall, in the target stand, in the number. Yeah. So
My first national level tournament with my compound, I shot a 10 on the wrong bail.
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
Not the wrong
Yeah.
target on the same bail, on the next bail over. It was my first
yeah.
time
I've
the
I've
lens.
done it at the World Championships in field. Shot the wrong target in the finals of the team round, and probably cost our team the bronze medal because I shot the wrong face. So yeah, it happens. It
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I've been behind the bail with the best in the world looking for arrows. Daryl Pace, Rick McKinney, Ed Eliason, Butch Johnson. I've been back there with all of them looking for arrows. So it's just part of the deal, man.
I've done it before in head-to-heads. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But-
One tournament you're talking about, Christopher's talking about shooting the wrong target face or the wrong bail. Ed Elias, and I watched him shoot the wrong bail twice, and it wasn't on the same side. He shot it once on this side and once on that side. Now that takes some doing. to miss on either side of your own target bale. And this was at 90 meters. So, I mean, we're not talking like the bales were close. We're talking he had to work at it. But so it is possible.
So there's
Yeah, I think it's more like a nerves thing. It's just like I won't say I'll be in my head, I'll be in the shot, and the last second I'll just be like, "Put," and sometimes it happens in slow motion. I'll feel myself start to collapse, and then the arrow will just go whoop slowly out of my fingers, and it's just, but I've been really good at it lately where I've been, I go through my process in my head, push and lock, align back, hook trap blur, make it look good. Like Matt Yaka says, I mean, I just have to, if I run through that in my head and I feel everything, it's perfect. But if I don't do that at the last second, one little thing, whoop, flinch, at the last second.
So the interesting thing about that, and you can shoot well that way, but you'll never shoot your best if you're shooting by the numbers. It's a good way to practice, good way to learn how to do it. But at the end of the day, you should be thinking about one thing that happens after the shot. For example, follow through or explosion or finish. That's one I think of a lot as finish, because you tend to get weak right as it goes off. And that is generally getting ahead of yourself mentally on what's going to happen when I let go. And then I have to deal with the results when I let go. So until you let go, you don't have to deal with anything, right? As soon as you let go, you got to deal with the consequences, right? Because archery is an instant feedback sport. Well, the problem with the instant feedback is it's not always true. I've shot some really shitty arrows that went to 10 ring.
Right.
I just got away with it, right? But I couldn't continue to shoot them like that the rest of the day. And I've shot some really good arrows that didn't go in the middle for whatever reason. When whatever was going on, I didn't have my string alignment, I missed something. But if you think about it, your body knows how to shoot an arrow. If you just got out of your way, have you ever been shooting and not really paying attention, and all of a sudden you look down there and you got a wad about that big? You weren't thinking about anything. Your body knows how to shoot.
Right.
So if you can get your conscious mind occupied, give it a toy to play with over here, it will let your body run the program it already knows how to run. Right. And Francis, you brought up the book, Golf's Not a Game of Perfect. And one thing I really like in that book is he talks about practicing. 40 to 50% of your practice should be by the numbers, positions, how it feels, shoulder in the right place, all of that stuff. The other 60 to 50 to 60% should literally be, I'm going to make this arrow go there. I'm not thinking about how, I'm not thinking about why. I'm just going to make this arrow go there. And you do it and it goes there. You're like, great, I'm going to make this arrow go there. It didn't go there. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to make this arrow go there. I'm not going to worry about my form. I'm not going to take it apart. I'm not going to analyze it. This arrow's going there. And that's how you have to shoot in a tournament to shoot your very best. You cannot shoot by the numbers. You can shoot good, but you'll never shoot your best if it's by the numbers.
Right.
That's actually
appreciate
priceless information.
Now,
Yeah.
the situation I'm in, switching styles, is I'm having to reprogram, some pretty well-established motor programs, right? Because going from compound to recurve, my alignment is different. The way I draw is different. My draw hand is definitely different. And so I'm having to think about a lot of things to keep myself from going back to doing it, wrong, right? So I feel like until I've got those new movements and new positions baked in, I can't just let my subconscious run it, because it's going to run it wrong.
Believe it or not, it won't. If you've done it right one time, your subconscious knows how to do it.
Okay.
That one good shot, that one you shot that was just like, oh, the angels came out, the sun, the skies parted. Your subconscious knows how to do that already. It's got it. It's us getting in the way of that causes all that problem.
Huh.
Right? I don't know if you've ever shooting your compound, if you've ever were having one of those days where you were really locked in on the gold and your sight was floating like it normally does, but you're so locked in on the gold, you're not paying attention. And you see your sight drift over there to about 3 o'clock in the 9 ring, and the shot breaks and it goes dead in the middle. You had one of those? Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's your subconscious playing the game for you. You're focused where you want the arrow to go, and it will make it go there. As soon as you realize your sight's over there and the shot breaks, that's where it goes. Right? It's the same thing with Barebow. As soon as your focus comes off of just the middle and starts paying attention to something else, And the same thing happens with our sights. When I'm shooting I shoot a circle, and as long as the gold is floating somewhere in that circle, I'm happy. When the shot breaks, it goes where I'm looking. As soon as I realize, oh, my sight's a little off when the clicker goes off and I let go, that's exactly where it goes, because now my focus has gone to that, not where I wanted it to go. And it's hard to let go. What I'm talking about of just letting your subconscious run it, that is really hard to do, because it's not comfortable. Like, you'll do it for one arrow and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't, I got lucky, right? That's your first thought. I got lucky. So then you go back to trying to control it. The harder you try to control it, the worse you're going to shoot. I guarantee it. Now, again, learning it, yes, you have to do that. But it doesn't take as long to learn correctly as you think, because consciously, when you start breaking every little thing down where you're trying to shoot, well, yeah, it never feels right because you're so picky about everything. It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't. I keep telling people, my students, like, a good shot is a 10. A perfect shot is a 10. If you shoot consistently good shots, they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be good shots. Now, to be fair, perfect shots here, and when we start out, a good shot's down here somewhere. So anywhere in this range feels pretty good to you, right? As you get better, the good shots come up to like this, right? So now what used to feel like a good shot when it was down here no longer feels like a good shot, because you understand what's going on. You keep it in that good range, that's all you need to do. Perfect shots are lovely. You're always trying to get them. That's what you're really trying to do, because that feels so good. But I won a lot of tournaments back in the day when we shot double FITAs. And I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember what those are, but it was 144 arrows over 4 distances, 30, 50, 70, and 90 meters. Total score, 1440 was perfect. I think the world record at the time was like a 1341, held by Daryl Pace. But anyway, I won our nationals one year. We shot 2 FITAs, so 288 arrows. I won our nationals by a decent margin, and I was 4th in 10 count. 4th. So 3 guys had more 10s than me. I beat them all because I nined the death out of them, man. I was never outside the gold hardly. And that is all it takes. If you're just constantly putting them in the middle, they don't have to be perfect. And I promise you, with a Barebow, if you hardly ever miss the gold or the 8 ring, you're going to drive guys crazy, because they know, if I can't miss, because this guy never freaking misses the 8 ring. Like, if I shoot a 7, I'm going to give a point every time. That gets in people's heads, right? You just keep sticking them in the gold. Even if you're shooting 27s, you just keep sticking them in the gold. And these guys are looking at your target going, Jesus Christ. Right?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've found, Jay, is that indiv individual shooters have to prepare in different ways for to have that confidence level of to not miss. And Chris, and I'll this is my opinion, but like, you are already, like, if you're worried about missing, you're manifesting a miss to come. Like, you're thinking about a miss without thinking about a miss, and it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, and you that's where, like, the thought process of, like, I'm shooting it in the middle. I'm shooting it in the middle. It didn't go in the middle. I'm gonna shoot this one in the middle. Like, and staying so engaged in what you're doing. And I guess, and you guys, I've worked with both of you guys. Like, one of the things that I am big on is, like, you need to at least understand your shot and what you do and the pieces of the puzzle that create your shot, because as soon as that adds a level of confidence to, like, when you do make a mistake, I know why that arrow went there, I'm gonna fix it, and then you just move on. And it's that, like, chess game that, well, we turn it into a chess game, and it really doesn't need to be. It's just shooting arrows. Let the bow do its job. It shoots it perfect every time. Jay, you said it perfect. We're the ones that get in the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get out of the way of the
And
bow.
I tried really hard. Yes, I understood what happened when I shot an arrow that didn't go where I wanted it to. but I didn't really necessarily try to fix anything. I just did the next one right.
Yeah,
So
right.
instead of trying to
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I did this wrong, now I need to do this, and I
Okay.
need to change the angle of my hand, and I would just be like, I just need to shoot the next one right. And I was very much a feel shooter, very much a feel shooter. So I was always trying to get a feel. So Francis, for you, shooting a compound as long as you did, the feeling of that explosion you get when you shoot a release that's a surprise, that's how you want your recurve to feel. Now it's never going to feel exactly that way, but I shoot a wrist strap release more than people would believe just to get that feeling of the bow coming apart. Daryl Pace did it a lot back in his day. And it's not about where the arrow goes. It's strictly about get that feeling of that
Mhm.
and that's something you should have in spades. And the way we talk about my coach Dick Tone, the way he taught me and the way I've been teaching is you're not trying to control anything after the shot. The only way to get to not have your bow arm open up and the release come around is if you try to stop it before you ever let go. If you don't know when it's going to go off, and I can put a wrist strap on somebody and set the release off for them and show you for a fact that your elbows will almost touch behind you if you don't know it's going off. You're not fast enough to stop it. So let that happen. So when you let go, the bow hand goes at the target, the release goes away from the target. When it runs out of room, it's going to go behind you, your bow arm. I know y'all can't see that, but it's this way for a lefty. Um, and that's part of that whole relaxed. I'm focused on the middle thing, and I'm not worried about what's going to happen because it's naturally going to do that. But to Christopher talking about thinking about missing, I can honestly say I have never worried about missing an arrow for two reasons. One, I was always thinking about hitting stuff, not missing stuff. And two, I knew at some point I was going to miss eventually. So it was like, whatever. It was a surprise whenever it happened. But it's going to happen because, and the reason it was a surprise was because I wasn't thinking about it. Like, I'm not worried about it. Everybody misses. Everybody misses. And the other thing you have to understand is nobody on that field except you gives a shit how you shot.
Totally.
Trust me. Your best friend could walk up to you and go, "Hey, Chris, how'd you shoot today?" What he's really asking is, "Did I beat you?" That's all they want to know. They don't care how you shot. They want to know if they beat you, period.
Right.
So you don't be embarrassed. We all are, but it's like nobody cares.
Yeah, it doesn't happen nearly as much now as it did in the first my first season. Like my first indoor season, when it was awful. Like I wanted, because I was like, if I can't do this, why am I even doing it? If
Yeah.
I can't, if I can't get over these nerves, but it was just a nerve thing. But then it would happen to me when I'm practicing at home. So then I figured out, okay, it's actually something wrong with my form. It's something with my form, and it was because I wasn't following through. I was anchoring like what happened with Barebow. You anchor, you're holding, and then you just let go, as opposed to expanding and following through and feeling that proper back tension. And once I started to do that, I was like, I'm not missing at all. I'm not even thinking
Right.
about it, And so
Yeah.
now I don't think about that at all. But sometimes I'll think, okay, Jay Bars is standing behind me. I need to make sure I make this shot. Because at Lancaster, you were standing behind me talking to my friend James, and I was, and then I was doing good, and then I came back to talk to you, and then I was like, oh shit, Jay Bars is standing there behind me, and so then I was like, and so then it got in my head, but it shouldn't get in my head. I should think, okay, now make your best shot, show them what you got, like
Absolutely.
instead of going, oh fuck, don't mess up, don't mess up,
Yeah.
So I just got to change my mentality in that whole process. So,
Well, and that's exactly what it is changing how you think about it. And one of the things you really need to change is you don't get nervous, you get excited.
right.
Okay. Because what happens to your body when you wake up as a kid on Christmas morning, that feeling you got, and what happens to your body when you're the same kid and you're sitting in class and they call you to the principal's office, what physiologically happens is exactly the same thing. Your body releases adrenaline and cortisol, fight or flight response, right? Christmas morning is excitement because you know it's a good thing. Called to the principal's office is nervous because you think it's a bad thing. Physiologically, there was no difference. It's how your brain interpreted it. So I got butterflies at every tournament I ever shot. I promise you, if you and I were pitching pennies tomorrow, I'll have butterflies because I want to win. It's not nerves for me, it's excitement. And how did I change that? I just started telling myself I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is fun. This is excitement. This is what I want. This is the feeling I want. If I don't have this feeling, I'm in trouble. So I knew I was going to have that feeling. And my coach, Dick Tone, he would always explain it like he goes, it's fine to have butterflies. You just got to get them all flying in formation. That's the key, right? So you're going to have butterflies. You're going to have, and it'll come and go during the tournament because the tournaments we used to shoot were long enough. You remember the old double fetus, Frank?
Yep.
They were long enough that you'd start the day out, pretty wired up. So you'd be up here with your excitement. And then as you got into it, you'd start to mellow out a little bit and everything would kind of come together. And all of a sudden you'd start shooting really good. And then all of a sudden you're back up here again. Right. So you'd have this thing going the entire day.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this 30-minute
okay with it.
excerpt from the beginning of the Coach series with Jay Bars. There's more to this episode. As a matter of fact, there's a lot more, and it's available through Team Barebow Project. So if that's something that you're interested in, if this is of value to you, a couple of requests. One, consider joining. It's really a small way to support the Barebow Project. And you get to be in person with these guests. You get to ask the questions. You get a moment, which is hard to do at a tournament, and how rare is it that you run into some of these people. To be able to dive into their brain of how this thing goes. It's come to me that people love listening to podcasts, but having access to it and ask your own questions just carries so much more weight, and that's why it's done this way. So, but we wanted to provide some also just for the listeners, so you get something out of it, even if that's not in your capacity to do. You're just not that serious right now. No big deal too. You still get some kind of information and help along the way. So, with that being said, check out www.thebarebowproject.com. You get all kinds of discounts on the apparel store, stuff like that. And there's just, trying to make it so there's a wealth of benefits for supporting the podcast. Don't hate me. That's just the way things are. If you have any questions, reach out to me at thebarebow.project@gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook. I have my coaching page, the Barebow Project page, and make sure you subscribe to the Barebow Project subscribers group because all the announcements are posted there. When you join Team Barebow Project, you will get a link to join the Barebow Shooter School as well as the Team Barebow Project private Facebook group where a lot of the announcements and the full version of these episodes are posted. So, hey, shoot straight or shoot often. Peace out.